Sigma.
Gotta get those levels right.
I'm a Sigma. I go out. I don't even.
Here we go.
Birdman swirl.
Oh, fuck, blew it. Ready?
Birdman swirl. I mean, Birdman swirl.
This time. Third time lucky. Go.
Birdman swirl. What? Birdman swirl. Birdman swirl.
Tell me about your surf. So you did some slashes.
Oh, just ripping.
Was it offshore or onshore wind?
Onshore. It was. I just ripping, just generally, just shredding. You know?
Just generally.
Just
Did you dominate the lineup? Were you fucking
Yeah.
giving off mana vibes?
yeah. Then everybody paddled in when I paddled out. You know,
Goes without saying, doesn't it? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have even asked. I should just know this.
South Shore Wolfpack's paddling out. You know, so
You just look. Are you part of that pack, or are you? Getting your
I
own
am. I'm the Wolfpack.
lone
Yeah,
wolf.
Lone wolf. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just stand down the beach with my arms crossed and call
Yeah.
people haoles, and they're like, "What does that mean?" I was like, "Just go in, haole." He's like, "I wasn't even surfing. Just go in. This is my beach, bruh."
That's a guy walking his dog, and you're like, "Go in, bro." He's like, "What?" Just fucking go in, holy. Okay.
Okay. Couple
Right.
of kids, couple of little girls. Fuck, go in. What?
Fucking better go in, bro. You're not
Splash
welcome around these parts, man.
Splash water on them.
You haven't got a fucking wolf pack sticker. You're not allowed at this car park, bro.
No, you're not allowed. Now,
Oh, good on you.
we got on beach grip.
That's
Go
cool.
on.
Yeah, listen to that. I hadn't really heard about these dudes, so it was cool to. I've given them a subscription, a follow. Follow. So yeah, it was a cool little shout out.
Yeah, and did you read the article? The article that
Yep.
oh, I'm gonna fuck up his name, and I really shouldn't.
What is it like? Turbo Negro or Negatron or something?
Oh.
Sorry, I got mixed up with the band name, Turbo Negro. Negatron,
band.
was it?
Yeah, Negatron don't surf.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hang on. I'm just gonna find his actual name. The bro
We'll share them up on fucking the screens, mate. Use the tech.
Yeah, Matt McCrory. Shout out to Matt. Matty did an epic write up article on Beach Grip. We've seen fucking hell. The numbers on Wellsy's potty and our latest one have skyrocketed thanks to the Beach Grip boys.
Yeah, cheers.
Maddie, Chaz. Yeah.
We're famous now, man, eh?
We're famous.
We're so famous, bro. Me and you, like, famous and stuff. What should we do with this fame? I reckon maybe buy a yacht.
We're raking in thousands, aren't we?
Yeah, man. Patreon's absolutely killing it. I think the last monthly payout was it 17,000 between us, between the two of us? Well, just under 17,000.
Oh, that's what you get. I get double because I do more.
Oh, but I'm the talent. So don't I get a little bit higher share on the hired talent?
What's with the fucking wife beater?
I don't know. I felt like fucking see these little titties? How they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 titties. Titties. Do you want to see them jump? Titties.
Stop.
Titties.
Fucking stop.
Do you want to see
I'm
them
going to quit
jump?
the podcast.
Oh, sorry.
It upsets me.
Why? Because I've got pectoral control.
You have a disgusting little body. I hate your body.
That's a bit harsh. Disgusting. It's a bit harsh. Maybe you could say average or something. That's a bit fucking right in the guts, right in the tits.
I can't think of a single mate of mine that doesn't have a disgusting body.
And I'm one of them. Oh, sick. I'm going to get all the pussy after this podcast.
Who in our sphere? Who in our sphere has got a good body?
Oh, mate, I'm not talking about that. That's gay, bro.
Well, that's what Pakey was asking us.
Oh, we should wait for that to get our guest when our guest arrives. We could get him in on that as well. I reckon.
Steve
What do you
doesn't
think?
have a good body.
Steve's got a good rig, mate, for an old.
No, I'm talking like,
Oh.
like one that you're like, wow, that's a good rig. Like you're doing real well. Like who in our sphere?
There's many, isn't there?
Bones used to have a good rig.
The Skeletor.
He was muscly back in the day, like muscly, skinny, sinewy,
Yeah.
but
Sinewy, rangy.
a real broad
Rangy.
chest. He had a real nice broad chest. Nice
Ah.
nips.
I thought he more had like a chicken breast.
No.
A little bit
He
bony.
does now. He's a peewee now, but he used to have a big, broad chest when he was a stand-up surfer.
What's on your show notes, mate? What should we kick off with?
Well, I just kicked off with one, or how we got on Beach Credit. I was fucking wrecked with
true.
that.
Yeah, that was cool.
What's cool? We're our numbers on our latest episode, Dirty Wendy episode.
Yeah.
I don't know why you didn't call it Dirty Wendy, and you were
Yeah, I just thought
texting me
about that then.
nonsense. I think you should rename the fucking thing.
I thought the apricots and cottage cheese was a good little moment of the potty. But Dirty Winnie probably. I just still a little bit, need to be cautious with naming.
Fuck
Even though
yeah. Well,
I already did publicly name.
that's your lesson learned, actually.
What?
Use a different name next time.
I did, man. It was it's like it's close to it.
It was Weasley. I mean, Wendy.
Weasley Snipes. God,
Weasley.
those movies were good.
So that was really cool. And yeah, Wellsy's ones, the numbers on that are probably over quite a lot. Yeah, I might not share the whole number, but it's surprisingly big across all of our platforms. Yeah.
I quite liked the Beach Grit guys, how they segued from the Kira jet ski chat on the podcast right through to Fu Man Swoo and the following jet ski Sam Wells story, which was probably the best story of that podcast. And there were some funny stories with me and Wellsy. That one was by far the funniest. Yeah,
That's
a great segue.
I was texting Wellsy about it, actually, saying the stuff that goes on, that's the little things of localism and surf politicky stuff that goes on in the South Island is pretty hillbilly, right? Like Wellsy's story, the Timaru boys with the shit, Brooksy's keys in the shit. It all sounds pretty normal to us, right? And we know lots more stories that we've never shared. It all sounds pretty normal to us, but it must sound pretty wild to foreign listeners, or even homos like Steve up in Auckland, because, they just all have lattes together and go surf raglan.
Whatever, mate. There is localized spots in Auckland. I remember there was definitely a few secret ones. Yeah. Parts of the North Island as well, too. I heard some sketchy stories south of Gizzy, if you know where I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just psycho, especially a few of the secret spots. You can't even get access to them, and locals are heavy.
The
But
bros
good
will
though,
have you.
it's good. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I rate it. You know what
So
I mean?
I rate it too. I think it's good. I think it's good. Keep it localized. Fucking, it shouldn't be a circus. All these out of the way spots,
I'd love to find or hear opinions from stand-up surfers out like that visit Blaketown, and what they've heard over the years. Because there's never been any like big hidings dealt by any Blaketown locals ever, but there's been some big vibe outs or send-ins. You've sent a couple of people in.
You have too, haven't you? Those kids.
They weren't kids. They weren't kids.
I'm just going to call them kids for the rest of time.
They were fucking
Eternity.
20-year-olds.
13.
They shit themselves.
Big Mana says, get out of it. It's enough bloody pesky behavior. Would it be interesting? I don't know. I reckon we'd probably just blowing it up, sounding way more hardcore than what it is. Some of some of the crew that come over here probably just think it's mellow mostly. But then, yeah, sometimes there's moments where, shit, as you said, vibe outs happen. Definitely. Not all
Yeah.
the time.
There's definitely been some pretty big vibe outs from everyone I know from Blaketown.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially back at like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the vibe outs would have been pretty hardcore from that
OG
your
crew.
guys' generation.
Yeah, and older.
No hidings. No hiding.
No.
But shit stories and send-ins and yelling.
Back then, there's so many of us that it was just like we gave each other beatings down the beach. And abuse, like grommet abuse, all the different generations. So much intergenerational grommet abuse. Fuck, it was rough.
I remember this is so many years ago, like fucking nearly 20 years ago. I was out at Blaketown. You and Pakey were out. It was pretty fucking good. And Pakey's what, a couple of years younger than me. And so he would have been 18 or 19.
Yeah.
And he dropped in on you 2 or 3 times, eh? And you were losing it at him. Like, it was
good.
So there must have been some sort of beef between you two. You were
must have been.
You two were just losing it at each other. Well, Pakey wasn't, but you were losing it at him. You were like, "What the fuck?"
I can't even remember that.
It was. I specifically remember that. Eh? I was like, "Oh, stay away from this."
Have I told you about one of the first times I interacted with Pakey? Yeah, like in the surf. It was, he would have been young as probably 13, 14 maybe.
Supple.
Yeah, and him and his mates, South Horn, Mahariki, what's his name? Is it Nathan? I forgot. Martin.
The bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, James.
No, not, I've already said South Horn. That's James.
Yeah.
The other one, his name's just completely got in my brain. But I remember there's a wave trap bank. That was the one that I sort of first got for all that time. It was 05, remember? And
yeah,
the one that Frank never surfed. I'll get so much hate from that. Yeah, and seeing all Pakey's crew just down there watching, it was fucking rad. I think they might even had video cameras back then filming, but I just remember like just watching them. They all had their board bags, just classic grommies, and we're out in the surf and just seeing the little grommies just, congregating on the rocks like little fucking slugs. Cute. It's so cute. Do you like that story?
Oh, I thought that was great. Yeah. It's cool and annoying when a whole group of groms turns up. You're like, oh, cool. Good to see young guys, but fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Do you know one thing I hate watching? Like, the one thing I hate watching, and I'll just skip.
Yeah.
Any grom surfing. I hate watching grom surf.
Fair enough, too.
Like,
unless
even if they
absolutely shredded. Oh, okay. I don't know. There's some groms that blow your mind, but I wouldn't fucking like watch minutes and minutes of them. Maybe one clip here and there.
It's just, even when they rip, it just looks silly. You know what I mean? Because it's so small, and probably a little bit of jealousy as well. Probably.
I'm sure there's a heap of that.
A little jealousy,
Alrighty, so it seems like our guest is ready.
Oh, no.
What do you mean, oh no?
Oh,
he's already like,
no.
I'm ready, so I'm just have to say, click the link above. Hang on.
While he's doing that, great show note from Mr. Joel Dixon,
yes.
that we should probably make some Dirty Wendy merch.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I was wearing a said t-shirt with those two words on there, and I was at a restaurant somewhere, and in walks the actual Wendy, and she's like, "Hey, Joel, and what's going on?" And then boom, she looks at my t-shirt. Dirty Wendy, that's weird. Okay. Could you sing me a song?
Sing me a song.
I can
Hello.
hear you.
Oh,
Hello.
oh
He's in.
Hey.
wow.
There's Poparino.
Wow.
There's
Hello.
Poparino.
Look at that, Joel. That's a background.
Yes.
Fuck.
Look at
Sake.
that.
I knew that was going to happen.
Amazing.
Maybe one day. Cheers, Steve. I got to
Maybe
meet
one
you.
day.
Look at that.
Who's your mate, Spates? Nice.
Pride of the South.
Oh, yeah.
What are you having? A dirty
Oh,
bourbon or
yeah.
something?
No, I've got a peach with vodka, clean collective.
Clean
Oh, you
collective.
love
Yep.
those.
Nah, I don't. They're not sugary enough for me, but I start with, this sort of thing, and then I ramp it up.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
How are you,
Hey.
Novelty Ben?
Oh, I'm good, mate. How are you? I've been shoulder hopping all day.
Nice.
No, I hadn't. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Steve Fortune.
What a privilege.
How are you?
Very well.
Did you get a surf today, bro? Steve-O?
I just came in from a 2-foot onshore Mouldy Bay.
Yeah. With the kids, or just did you go out for a proper?
Nah, I just went for a bug, mate.
Sweet.
Just me. But it's almost not that I like 2-foot onshore waves, but there's only two of my mates out. And when you're in the busiest beach in New Zealand, it's almost more enjoyable when you just go out with two of your mates.
Yeah, that's right. It's about being in the water, isn't it, mate?
No one else out there.
Nah, what's that Scott board in the back? That looks like one that I had in my early days.
I know. I had one like this in the late 90s, I think.
Mhm.
Very similar. And I can't for the life of me find the fucking thing. I think it's buried in my mum's place somewhere, but that's an old Scott Dominator that I found on Facebook Marketplace for like $30. I was like,
So
yeah,
good.
yeah. I took it out about a couple of months ago, just out the front of home. But it's still it's tiny for me, but it's still wet and great, eh? Like,
Could ride it.
yeah.
Good to have an old school. Have you got any old school bugs in your quiver, Steve?
Have I? I got the Epo
Yeah.
gun. That's
Yes,
probably
I
my
can see
pride and
that.
joy. Got that in Adelaide when
Yes.
I was 12.
Oh,
I
wow.
wasn't really into the bug then. It was more you'd go sort of 3 or 4 times a year because I was busy doing other sports. But yeah, managed to con my parents into that. And then what have I got? The
Yes.
the Dave Ballard. You'd like? Sorry, not the Ballard. The Roach, the Manta Roach. You'd like that
Oh,
one.
beautiful.
Fuck yeah. I would love that.
And then the Moray. One's got to have a Moray. And then the BZ Pro Flyer.
Yes.
Oh, what's happening with you? Like, we're pretty keen to hear about the upcoming Breaking Even premiere, mate. We've been
Yep.
promoting it a bit in the last couple of episodes, but
Yep.
yeah, due to your
Nice.
efforts, it's happening. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, quite excited. We I got the opportunity last year on a holiday away. I met the lads, and I stayed in touch with them. And I always like the opportunity, or the idea of having a premiere in New Zealand. I was quite keen, with the drag movies that came out, but nothing ever eventuated of that. And thought, well, what opportunity to, try and put something on like that in New Zealand. So I'd been in contact with Craig, and we'd talked, and then finally it was like, right, let's do it.
Cool.
So with the help of a mate of mine, who's one of the, he's quite high up at Ortex, he said, we can use the Warriors Sports Bar, which they just got. So went in there and met the guys and told them I want to put on a bodyboard movie, and they were right behind it. So that's how we ended up with Full Time Sports Bar. And yeah, quite excited. I just messaging the lads this morning, Tanner and Craig, and they're super excited.
Cool.
Quietly nervous that they don't get waves, but I was very realistic with them. I said, New Zealand on its day can be incredible, but especially the North Island's very hit and miss. But the idea is premiere at the start of their trip and then 2 weeks. So they land on the Saturday, premiere on the Sunday, and then it's just go wherever there is to try and get waves.
Man.
So
How long
that's
have
the
they
plan.
got? Did you say how long have they
2
got
weeks.
in New Zealand? 2 weeks. That's cool. So they could come down south if they're
Yep.
getting a bit skunked up north, eh?
Well, we're
That's awesome.
prepared. We're prepared to go to Aussie, Samoa, Cook Islands, or
We-
South Island.
What do you mean we? So you're gonna take some time off and go hang out with them as well?
Yep, I got
Surf?
2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, haha,
2
sweet.
weeks, little mission. So yeah, I mean, if it's in the
Nice.
North Island, we've got I've got 2 skis,
Yeah. got
and
some
also
gear.
Lawrence going to come along, hopefully, depending
Cool.
on where and when. He's got a ski and another mate as well. So,
Primo.
worst case, we're doing tow outs on 2-foot waves with a couple of the best guys in the world, which would be quite good to see.
Mate, you'll be coming down here. You'll be coming down. Get the boys down to Blaketown. Get you down to Blaketown or the
Just
Catlins.
show them a couple of clips. We'll give you some clips.
Yeah.
Fizz them up. They'll be down.
Yeah.
No, they're very keen to stay within New Zealand.
Yeah, we'll
good.
get them waves.
And they're not worried about flying. So yeah, we're, the idea is just wherever it looks good, we'll go. But man, it's going to be hard to make that call.
Yeah. No, good on you though, bro. It's really cool. Like we haven't done I don't think we've done a premiere from New Zealand bugging since Isolated.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
There was a
True.
passing through one in Auckland, maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yep.
And that was quite busy. That was at a surf shop in Auckland. But nothing like this with the guys as well. It's quite a good opportunity to meet last year's world champ and arguably one of the best bodyboarders in the world now. I'd say there's a whole bunch of Aussies that are really good, but him and PLC, I would say, are my top two for technical riding. I don't know. How would you feel about that, Joels?
Yeah, no, I would agree. You got to put Tristan Roberts up in that technicality
For contest
as well.
Definitely Tristan, but
yeah, for contests, free surfing is a different thing.
Yeah, it was very interesting to watch them surf in person.
I wanted to talk to you about that. So you went to a nice little tropical Pacific getaway, and how long were you guys there for? Was it?
So I'd just gone for a family trip. I didn't.
Yeah,
I was
cool.
trying to tee up with them in Aussie. I actually got invited over to the Science when they went to the wave pool.
Oh,
but I got invited by Nemo, James Nemeyer. He sent me the message. We were trying to line it up because I really want to go and meet Mike when he was over, and obviously Tanner as well. But anyway, I got we've been talking about it and trying to line it up, and they were waiting to see what day they could get the pool. And anyway, I woke up Thursday morning and I'd had a message late, the time difference, and it was like, get on the plane tomorrow, which was the day. So I just said, no, it wasn't an option. I couldn't do it. So that was unfortunate. I missed meeting Mike, which I sort of really wanted to do.
Sorry to interrupt. Which wave pool was it?
Sydney.
We're talking
Urban.
Sydney one. The new urban one in Sydney. Gotcha.
Yeah. So that was, that was sort of, my first opportunity to meet them. And then I just had a family trip booked in to the islands. I love going up there. And so on the 2 days before I went, Johnny from D5 said to me, message saying they're up there. And so I thought, this will be good. I'll get to meet them. And I met them on the first day, and then there were a couple of days at Rubbish Waves, and then the next few days we surfed a bunch together, and then ended up drinks on, and it was bloody it's really good, real down to earth guys. It was a great experience.
Did you get any good big days, or was it just sort of fun size? Oh, you did with the boys?
Yeah, and it's on it's on their video. I've seen they sent me the video, and I said, I'm not going to watch it, and then within about 10 minutes I chucked it on.
Yeah, true. Ocho's showing off a bit of fortune.
Bit of Photoshop there.
Yes.
Just a wee 2-footer at your local shore.
Back to the boys trip over there.
So I got
big days. That's good.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, pity that happens once every 10 years. Oh yes, look at that.
The video audience some of Steve's escapades.
How's the shape in that wave? Man.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Foam ball, bro. Imagine just doing a sneaky little spin in there, half turn to a spin.
Oh, yeah.
Is it quite a short wave, that wave, Steve?
No.
Or is it long?
As long as it's that size or bigger, it's long.
Right.
But it's just such a pity. It's legit. 1 year I surfed it 3 days in a row. But yeah, that
I've got to apologize here. This is just classic Hodjo, Steve. What he does is we'll be having a chat, and he just fucking no context just starts sharing stuff. See, now he's fucking stopped sharing. This is just what he does. So just apologies on this kook up there.
Oh wow.
You got to expect that.
Oh, there he is.
Oh wow.
I didn't even know where we were. Oh, that's Maori Bay.
That's that?
Yeah. Maori Bay gets incredibly good, I reckon, 3 times a year.
Yeah.
It's very consistent for swell, but only 3 days a year where you can go and get, sort of 6 or more barrels like that.
Yeah. Did I chat
was-
to you, Steve-O, when we were in Rara, where we met you that time about my epic sessions at Mud Bay, that
Nah.
crazy left-hand novelty reef that's out the back
Oh,
to
yes.
the left?
Yeah. The little,
Have you surfed
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that's a novelty.
Yeah, dude.
I've lived here for 14 years, and
Yep.
1 year it broke all the time.
Wow.
It's sand dependent, regardless
honestly,
of what. Yeah,
Hodjo, you'll be fucking interested to know about this wave.
Mm.
It is similar to the wave trap in the fact that it's full novelty. You just got to get a fucking right amount of sand. I think you got to get a really specific swell angle too, Steve-O?
no, it's more the sand. Long period
sand,
swells
okay, cool.
better.
Yep.
But yeah, I there was 1 year we surfed it all the time, and I actually
Cool.
broke my foot out there. I hit the
Yeah.
reef, broke my foot. But yeah, it was it's such a good wave, but I haven't surfed it for such a long time now. I
that-
check it all the
looked at,
time.
Yeah.
Is that the
sorry to-
left wedge? That
Nah,
No,
it's
no,
a
no.
little reef.
So it's actually
Oh.
at Mary. It's actually at Mary Bay, Hodjo. You just look out you just look out and just a little bit to the left, and there's like a fucking big rock. There's a few rocks, isn't there, Steve-O?
Yeah.
And then randomly, this is we're going back fucking 26 years now. But me and Cameron Hurst fucking scored it. It was just 1 to 2 feet.
Yeah.
Crazy little left-hand mechanical.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fucking so fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
it
So it
pretty
needs
much
a bit of
doesn't
sand
break.
to build up on the reef or something, Steve-O?
Well, out in front of the reef, and it quite often just breaks in the middle. But when there's sand, it will actually make it wedge up off the island, makes the wave longer. But yeah, I mean, it pretty much doesn't. I got so sick of. Yeah, but when it's there, it's there. Like say, we surfed it one season just so much, and then I ended up breaking my foot there, which was annoying.
Steve-O, that's so similar to the wave trap. It's not funny.
Really?
It's weird.
Oh, that was a fun day. They've got a lot of footage of this day. How funny the shallowness.
Now, Steve-O, I've been assuming that you might get a couple of clips in the old.
No.
Oh, you haven't? Do you think?
No.
Not even a sneaky one. Oh,
nah,
it's rude.
No, it's a professional boogie board movie, not a fucking,
come on.
not a part timer from Auckland, mate. Nah, look at
chuck
this.
a few, Oh.
That wave is so cool. That wave, but
Yeah.
I've only surfed it once. I think if I think it's the spot.
Yeah, it's hard to get it. It's on the East Coast.
Yeah,
But I surfed one day with them. One of the passages at the bottom of the island. I think it's in your photo, mate. You always crap on about it, but I try not to. Even though it's the most well-known place in the world, I still don't mention it too much. But it was just quite remarkable to watch. Tanner, especially.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like I've surfed it with, say, probably two of the best slab surfers. I would have thought New Zealand, Blair Stewart and Sanger.
Mhm.
Yep.
And they went quite good on it. And what surfers can do. People talk about how fast surfers can go, blah, blah, blah. But I saw Tanner take off on one, and I thought, man, it was a good 5-footer. And anyone who surfed it knows, like, when it gets to that size, it's like very critical.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, he's going to have to scoop hard to get into this one. And I'm well in on the shoulder, sort of on the inside part, where it almost closes out at times.
Yep.
And he bottom turned, but he didn't scoop. He just went like on a 45-degree angle with his shoulder like so close to touching. Like I've never actually seen that done in real life. I've surfed with, over the years, really good bodyboarders from around the world, and I've never seen anyone do what he did. So he went from taking off on a wave that I would have been trying my hardest just to get into, and he'd got so pitted, and then I had to like actually duck dive to get out the way. I've never seen anyone move that fast on water. So people go on about surfers and blah, 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 stand-ups. But, you see a guy like that and what he was doing. I said to him, where was your scoop, mate? How'd you do that? And he goes, I got taught in the early days of pipe, like on the real heavy ones, you just take off flying down the line. He said the problem is it's extremely hard to learn because you've got to try and learn to do it on critical waves. You can't just practice on a heavy beach break, So that was amazing to watch.
Yeah, it's. I said in the last body, Steve. That's why it's so cool that you've got the boys coming down, and you and I have been talking about getting you guys down here because you don't get to surf. I think Tanner is the pound for pound best bodyboarder in the world right now.
Yeah.
And and he's one of those guys that's gone from being insanely naturally talented to then building upon that. So guys are born with an incredible athleticism and talent, and then they actually build upon that technicality, like Hardy did back in the day, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm just pumped. I'm coming up because I had those tickets to come and see you for fucking like 2 years, so it's perfect to come up and hang out, and then I would be absolutely pumped if we can get the boys down here for some, Catlins or Blaketown or whatever. Because being able to see some of the best guys in the world on good waves in New Zealand is fucking it's awesome.
Dude, it'd be insane to see Tanner at Blaketown, because Blaketown's already got so much power. So he'll just be able to use all that speed and power from the wave and then put his own on. My God, he's going to get fucking absolutely flung if he comes down here.
And the thing about Blako, Steve-O, is the banks have been insane there for like, 3 months, Joel? 3 or 4 months?
Insane. Still insane right now.
See, I never believe you guys. I just hear you.
I reckon
show him the clips, Hodjo. The clips.
I show him the clips. And he's like,
I just reckon you're good on the Photoshop.
You just wait till you come down, mate, and you'll be like, "Oh, this place is pretty good."
Hey, Shay,
should we build a couple of houses down here, Shay? We're a couple of tiny houses.
The reason, like, I obviously give you guys as much shit as I can because I enjoy it. But for when you get a whole, I just love shooting up to the islands for the same time it take to get. Nothing against the South Island. It's people in Aussie have always said, "Oh, you go surf those, the waves of Catlins and that." Mm-hmm. I'm just like, man, I get, like, we don't get super cold, but we get annoying cold. Like, it's the wind and you're just paddling, and you'd almost rather it be colder, but on a proper wave where you can paddle around rather than, 30 duck dives to get out. But, sort of by the time I get to March, April, I'm starting to think, I just want to shoot up to the islands.
That's fair.
Board shorts. And
that's more than fair, mate. Like who, like if we all lived in Auckland too, I think the islands, it's quite easy. Drive to the airport and then you're there.
Just a little interjection there, Steve, that you've got to still tick off all your passports, within New Zealand. You've got to come to these spots. You've got to tick them off. Yeah. You've got to tick them off. You've got to go to the Catlins. You've got to come here.
I have done a quick Catlins, and I had booked flights last year for a PK swell. And so I had flexi fares. So I've still got those flexi fares. That's what I'm talking about, because I did try to get down there for a little strike mission.
That's one joint that I think is quite overrated, the old PK Bay. I've done a few missions down there and only ever scored it really good, like once. But it's very shifty as well. Even when you're out there in the bigger ones, it is fucking shifty, and you have to be very patient. And there's a lot of guys on it sometimes too.
Hayden Parsons will be screaming into his bloody microphone at the moment if he was listening to that.
I think, Goose is a bit of a guru out there, Jules. He knows it really well.
He was pretty much the king out there for a while.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right about that. But I think if you're going to do South Island strike missions, there are other spots where you're going to get more consistent, like barrels, like tube fests when a certain spots are on. Yeah.
See, I just don't know about any of those waves, so that's why I don't want to make the call on that. And I've said that to the guys. I said, look, I'm within the North Island, or the areas where I go on the North Island, I'm fairly confident. It's so hard. We make the call when there's a swell, and you're right 50% of the time, even though I've done it so many times. But if it's at all, I've sort of got a plan that, 3 days out, I'll be talking to guys in the South Island, Wellington region, and then Oz as well, and the islands, and then just go, what's it looking like for the first week?
Yeah, dude. We'll be able to give you fucking real time. I'll be able to just pop down the beach, because it's only a 7-minute drive from my house to the arguably, Hodjo, the best wave in the country. So I can give you fucking live updates, mate. So they'd be good for the boys to come down. They'd fucking love it.
Oh,
only if
we'll get them.
Surf's good. We don't want to come down.
If things are looking good in that 2-week window, they come down. You boys come down. You'll get waves.
You think about it, Steve. It's like Auckland to Christchurch is what, hour 10 flight or something?
Yeah.
And then it's just a 3-hour drive over to the West Coast.
But then if you wanted to go from the West Coast to Catlins, what are you talking?
yeah,
decent
that's a
drive,
big-
right?
that's a massive drive.
So you guys are quite-
better to go back to Christchurch. Yeah, we are isolated.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the consistency of the waves over here, they'll be able to fill up a hard drive in probably 2 days.
We'll see how we go anyway. We'll see how
That'll
we
be
go.
cool. It's good.
It's going to be very hard to.
to.
It's going to be very hard to make the call. You know, I am just hopeful that there's some good swell up here, and then we can at least get, you know, a couple of sessions in, and then, you know, take some pressure off.
Yeah, bro.
You know, I saw going back to the island when I met them. I was out surfing one day and it was rubbish. Like I was sort of just practicing. You know, I had pretty much just gone out because it was warm and I was trying to do spins, and it was by the airport, the left-hander there, and it was just almost like a nothing surf. And I was out by myself, and then I see Tanner comes out, and I'm just thinking, man, he's keen. Like, what's he coming out for?
Yeah.
And his first wave, he takes off and does it air forward. And I just went, oh, yeah, I'm going in. No, I didn't, but I was just like, what? And, you know, he said, oh, where he grew up, there was a wave very similar. And he said the focus on was just trying to go as fast as you could in waves that, so, you know, even if you can't get the projection, he can still go incredibly fast, which was, it was amazing to watch. So it would be good to see what they can do in New Zealand. And I think like New Zealand's got the scenery, I mean, especially the South Island. If you can get some, they could get some really good content. That's what they want to do, try and get some footage for the next movie.
Oh, mate, they got to come there.
When have you ever seen, apart from back in the when Ryan Hardy came here, you know, got that footage that was part of Goose's video? You've never really seen an international, you know.
Nick Cornell, the passing through one, they had those Aussie guys, and then there's been a few of the drag guys, right?
Yeah,
Wellesley.
Well, Kate's
Wellesley played host to
those guys.
a few of those boys back in the day.
Yeah. He's a good person to talk to, right? Sam Wells, about
definitely.
Where to go.
Yeah, hit him up.
Yeah. No, I already have. I'm not going to read.
He'll only require one blowjob per session.
I'm not going to read out what he said about you guys, but
you should, mate. That'll be good. You really should.
You should.
I could pretty much remember it. I said, you know,
paraphrase.
I'm worried about the lads. I've seen them get excited about waves that, you know, are sort of, and he said, Joel's doesn't know how to read a chart. He just drives the end of his road. And he said,
accurate.
And then he said, I don't know who that Ben fella is, but he's never out when it's good.
Perfect. Pretty much spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never met him in real life, but we've had a couple of chats over the phone, and I think, right. He seems to be, you know, the same wavelength as what I am, for sure.
Wellesley's like the most it's dog eat dog when Wellesley's around, and it's if you show the slightest little bit of vulnerability or like he just attacks. He's
brilliant
on you, like.
No, I think we get on very well.
He just he's in like nothing else, and he will just go at it. Like,
how's
right, Joel? I'm going to share some breaking even footage while we're talking.
Can I go and get a drink because I smashed my clean collector?
Yeah.
See, Hodjo, that was
perfect.
That was perfect what you did there, mate. You segued the sharing of the footage in. See, that was good rather than just cold sharing. See, you done well.
But it doesn't really
cold
have to
sharing's
be
not
that
cool,
way.
man. Nah, cold sharing's weird.
Oh, that's
an old job. I've been producing podcasts, you know, back when you were a kid, mate. You know?
There's all these weird rules.
He's a great bodyboarder, Craig. He is.
That was the sickest flip.
What were you talking about his claw thing the other day? That was okay. I was nearly going to tell him to listen to your podcast, and I heard you ripping on how shit he used to be, pretty much. I was like, oh, there they go. Nah, I'm not going to tell him to listen to that.
Oi, bro, did you hear me talk about how you can actually use the claw?
Yes.
And Hodjo was just like, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, the claw's a technique.
Yeah, the Shark Island guys, the claw.
Exactly.
Like,
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
no. If you want, it was just like when he was a grom, when he was very young, the first clips started coming out of him. His hand used to be not gripping the board or like lightly gripping the board.
We know what you mean, mate. You don't
His
have to
hand would
re-explain
not
it.
barely, but it would like be arched, like
Yes, we know
that.
what we're talking about.
And it looks super. It was like floating over the nose. It
It's
looks
a
super
technique.
strange and sort of like.
Steve, he doesn't get it, mate.
Mate, just stick to your stand-up surfing, Roger.
Yeah, like I think he might have missed that class of the claw class, because it's actually a functional thing to do.
Yeah,
Especially
Adam
scooping.
Wingnut Smith.
Yeah, mate, he was the king of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ben Player used to do it too. Yeah. It's good
No,
technique.
but he would do it on every single way. Like, well, I'm not trying to rip on the guy. He got the fucking rips.
You just saw it too much. The frequency annoyed you.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we get it. Yeah.
God, I hope you don't watch videos of me fucking boogie boarding.
I've watched you live. It wasn't impressive.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's good. Oh, I bought a gaff helmet the other day, Steve-O. It's fucking
Did you?
great little
Yes.
thing. But
Oh,
I'll definitely use that when I head over there next. But I've actually just got
Yeah.
it so I can get some footage. I'm going to buy a GoPro soon, get back in the mix.
the problem is it just always looks small. Like Eric
GoPro Gomez
footage? Always rolls them, and it just looks so much smaller, when it's
On the GoPro?
Yeah. On your head, that's what I think.
Yeah.
I've had.
Yeah, I
it just
agree.
looks small.
I agree.
What are you bringing up here, Hodgie?
This one's this is
Sort
a
of-
view. This
Sort of frozen up there on the screen. It's gone a bit weird.
Oh,
is it? Can you see it all right, Steve-O?
yep.
Huh. There's a little
Can you
grey
see
bit.
Jolin, Steve-O?
Oh, I'm surprised he's got bloody internet down there, over on them parts,
your,
mate.
your camera turned off, hillbilly boy.
Oh shit! Am I back there? Am I?
Yeah,
Boom.
you're back there.
How's that?
Oh,
Anyway, let's talk
sorry.
through this clip. How
Oh.
fucking fast is this guy going? It's insane.
Can we have a look? Another look. So he's doing half
Bang.
turn to spin. Here we
Like
go.
that.
Heaps of speed. Look at that rail adjusting,
Yeah.
pumping. Here comes
Yeah.
the flip. Boom into another double spin.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
a little
That,
flip and roll. That's
And
so
there's some of
crazy.
the comments in there like, "Oh, you dodged that barrel." Okay.
No, that
All
there,
right.
and then faster out of the spin is, so impressive.
That's that amazing. He's actually like, I don't really care about the barrel here because I'm gonna like
Nah.
string this amazing combo wave together with all the speed. You
Yeah,
know.
exactly. He chose, to fucking tech it up, which is awesome.
It'll be interesting at the premiere because there's a lot of stand-up surfers that are coming.
Oh.
And I almost think the technical riding, they won't get it. I mean,
No,
it's like
probably
I've
not.
never enjoyed watching Mick Fanning surf because I've never, I don't stand up surf much. I don't appreciate how hard it is, the rail to rail. I almost think it'll be lost on them a little bit. They're sort of, all the surfers from out here that are coming, they've watched the drag movies. They love the drag movies and tension.
Yeah.
And they're probably more like the crazy slabs. I think they'll enjoy the, there's a couple of sections in there they'll really enjoy, like the one where I met them. But I almost think it's lost on them, like the whole Tanner's technical abilities.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see.
No, but it
That's-
doesn't matter. It's just like it's a community event, cool thing you're doing for the boogie boarding scene. Good on you, man.
Yeah.
Like
Hell yeah.
I am quite
Yeah.
surprised that there haven't been more sales. We tried to do pre-sales, get an idea of what part of the venue we were going to have. And in the early days, I thought, we might get the whole venue, based on the fact that Auckland Bodyboard Club has 300 members. I didn't know there were that many people around that bodyboarded. I guess I go, I'm trying to stay away from, apart from weekdays, I surf out here. Weekends, I was just trying to get away from here. But it has been slow. Like there's almost more stand-up surfers. I think that it's even stand-up surfers to bodyboarders going, which is quite interesting.
That is odd.
And I know a number of guys that do surf out here who haven't bought tickets, which has been quite interesting to see. So I don't know. I mean, it might be the classic Auckland lazy, on the day I might decide to turn up. But at this stage, there's probably going to be more stand-up surfers than boogers, which is...
Oh well, hopefully a few of the Auckland crew hear this potty and remind them to go along. It'll be well worth it.
Oh,
Wow.
absolutely.
What I was going to say was what's interesting is I feel like stand-up surfers are a lot more open to booging, I reckon, these days. Not
Yep,
all of
yep,
them, but
100%.
there's like for example, is a local guy here. There's a couple of local guys here that boog. They're multi, the stand-ups first, but they've brought out the boog as well. But yeah, a guy who been surfing Blaketown quite a bit. His name's Callum. Shout out Callum if you ever listens. He shreds actually, and he was like, "Fuck, I want to get a boog. I just feel like I'm missing out on so many waves at Blaketown." I was like, "Dude, I'll sell you one whenever you're ready." And he bought one off me, so haven't seen him out yet, but he's taken the first step. He's got a board, so that's cool.
I think it's good to do different things.
You and I had a big chat on the phone a while ago, a few weeks ago about the premiere and that. Yeah, I think, well, we're doing this now to help promote the premiere, get everybody getting behind it. But the other thing I think we need to remember is we just haven't had a generation come through to replace us. A generation of 20-year-olds right now out there doing what we've been doing for decades. And I think a lot of the crew around are just a bit out of touch with the scene because either they've stopped booging or barely do it. And so I just think it's a very cool thing that you're doing, and that whoever comes along, it's really great that they do. And we just encourage people that might not have committed yet to just come along and do it, because it's taken a lot of your time and effort, personal time and effort, to pull this together, and you're not doing it just like we do this because we love the sport. We're not doing it for some sort of profit. It's just because we just want to stoke people out. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we get messages on Fu Man Swoo, like every now and again, from some dude that used to boog 10, 20 years ago, and they'll just say, "Hey man, thanks for doing the podcast. It got me back on the boog."
Yeah,
And we've had that a bunch of times, and it's just really cool to hear. So I can get out there, support Steve-O and the premiere, because this is something that takes a lot of personal time to do, So
the other thing is also, I was sort of gauging this one, if this one goes really well, then I know I could get hold of Chris White through Shane Ackerman, because I talked to him a lot, and I could have got Tension 11, or I could get Tension 11 down here, which would be insane to have.
Why not just do that? Why don't you just go for that as well? That'll go
well, because I've paid a lot of money to get these guys down here. It's not like it would have never happened if we had floated the idea on pre-sales and then gone, "Oh yeah, guys, come down." I sort of said, I'll stump the money, and if I can recoup the costs, then sweet. If not, hey, I'm happy to do it, because I just thought they were such a good bunch of guys. I thought they were doing some of the best content, and actively doing it. Like Craig's a whiz, with all the social media stuff, and Tanner's obviously one of the best riders around, and Tristan's one of the best guys at the wedge. Before I'd met them, I thought, man, they got such a good thing going. So then when I did meet them, and they're such a decent bunch of guys, I just thought, oh, you know what, I'm a bit older now. If I'm going to give something back to the sport, not only am I helping them, which they're so stoked on, they were like, "Oh, this is so awesome." But okay. I won't. If the place isn't packed, I'm definitely not doing it again. It'll be my one and only. But anyway, I'm hopeful I could get 80 people through the door at $50 a head. So I put up the $4,000. Their flights are obviously more than that, but they were stoked that I just said, "Oh, here's $4,000 Kiwi."
Okay.
We've sort of done it through my partner Shay's business, so it's Shay's Tiny Homes have sponsored it. Big shout out to Shay, as you two know Shay. Shay's actually quite an athlete herself. She went to the Commonwealth Games for springboard diving. But she's no good in the surf. I've tried. I've actually stepped her off into a coach. She's brave. I got her north side of Hokianga last trip. Step off into a 6-footer. There we go. Look at that. There's a good little plug. Yeah, stepped her into a bloody 6-footer. And had she Boogie Jesus and Laurent were on the inside, and they were watching.
Oh, okay.
And had she not frozen and just gone straight and got absolutely peeled, she might have got in the barrel. It actually broke really well, but no, she's doing quite well. Yeah, there's one of her houses. That's her Airbnb. So when Tanner and that turn up, they're going to go stay in there for the first 3 nights.
Oh, mate, they're going to be stoked.
Yeah, it was quite cool when we met them because a couple of the girlfriends knew who Shay was. They love the tiny home thing from America. Yeah, she's got a real big audience in the States.
Huge.
Yeah, she's got over 1 million followers on all her social media.
Oh, that's so cool.
And she's got partners around the world that build. One's in Aussie and America and Mexico. But yeah, there she is. So they're there's the Airbnb, that one there. So we've got them in there for the first 3 nights. That's not far from Bethel's. So they're going to land. I said, that's the only, I didn't want to lock in any accommodation anywhere that we had to book because we just don't know what we're going to do yet. True. So the idea is they stay there for a few nights. We might go stay at our family place out at Piha for a couple of nights if we have to kill time in Auckland, but otherwise we'll be just, I'm really hopeful that I can get them to some of the spots that I go to, which I'll be definitely won't be showing the backdrops or anything, but it'd be great to, we've got some really good waves when the conditions are right.
Steve, on those really good waves that you're talking about, this season that we're in, autumn, is that quite a high chance that something could line up?
So I'd originally said March, but Tanner was locked into PipeCom, and I'm glad it hasn't because it's been a terrible season for us here. I've only really had a couple of good days, but yeah, I mean, you'd assume we're going to get the best scenario for us is if we get easterly winds and then you get swells on both coasts, and eventually it flicks back southwest. But I'd love to just get some days we could do step offs, or ideally I'd love a decent Raglan bar day or something like that where you could just step them into a 6-foot bar break, and they've never done the step offs, and it's it's so different to when I first got into it with Floyd Smith, it was just so much fun, something different, tiring, but so good. You go so much faster, so it'd just be interesting to see how they go doing that if we get that opportunity.
Yeah, for sure, mate.
So they've never done a step off before. That's crazy.
No, and never done tow outs with the ski. They bought a winch. They had a winch in California. Yeah. They said that was one of their first purchases with the Breaking Even, because Breaking Even channel makes a little bit of money. That had funded their last trip. The one that I met them.
That's so cool because their channel is the best thing going in bogging media right now.
It is by far number one. Number one.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool to hear, Steve-O.
Yeah. And they get their I've teed you up when you come up, you're going to have they're going to come on your podcast. I'm going to get you in the boogie bar, mate, with the world champ and the best guys from Kelly.
You have to do a solo, mate.
I'll step in for Joel's.
Good, there we go.
I used to drop knee.
Yes, you did. You should bring it back, man. Come on.
Jolin used to drop me as well.
Do you know what? When I was younger, it was very part time because I was always playing sports, and I lived an hour from the beach. My nan lived at Piha. That's sort of how I got into it. But trips away would be to sort of Taranaki and that. And it wasn't until I met some of the proper bodyboarders like Jethro Ray and Gavin Murdoch and got to surf Lang's Bommy for the first time and Spot X when it used to break back in the day. I worked out I couldn't actually lie down properly. And so I ditched the 50-50 boards, and I've just never gone back because I'm still trying to work out how to lie down properly. But that's sort of,
I'm sure you know, figure it out now.
Always progressing. But I did love the drive. I love watching the Dave Hubbard stuff on. Blows my mind what that guy does.
That's crazy to me, dude, that you actually knew how to drop knee, but now you've progressed into 100% prone rider.
Yeah.
That actually baffles me because I know a lot of prone riders who would love to fucking drop knee, but they just find it's too hard to do. So they're just like, fuck, I can't be going through the learning process,
Wow.
That's fucked up, dude. Why don't you you should just... So you don't like versatile boards?
Nah, got sick of that. Yeah. I ditched the 4-play Mason Rose for a 4-play Mitch Rawlins. That was the transition. Yeah. And then never looked back. Had the 4-play. Went from 4-play to the VS Rawlins, and then found Rawlins. I just stayed with the Rawlins shape. He was my guy. And it wasn't till James Nemo came over here, and he just converted me. He's like, mate, can't have you on found boards. You got to be on science. So he got us on got us on the boards at cost, and that's why we do a bit of promo stuff for D5. They sort of help us out, and
that's John. That's John Cruikshank, eh?
Yeah, he's a legend, Johnny.
Talk about
his shreds.
Oh, he's an amazing book.
Can we talk about him for a little bit?
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like he's like a guy who's just his progression's been like a late bloomer. He's always ripped, but then he's just into his like mid-30s, into his later years. He's just gotten better, hasn't he?
Oh,
yeah. His missus films him every surf.
There you go.
And so that's why he's got so much content. But I think that's why I think him and Mike got on really well, and that's how he ended up being the science guy in Aussie. And he's responsible for what science boards are, on the market in Aussie.
Yeah.
So he is the guy.
We're just watching some footage here of the man himself that we're just talking about, Johnny C.
Oh, they get such like that wave there. They get so many good waves around Newcastle.
So fun looking, eh?
Like they're just so consistent. That's why when James came here, he'd given up on booging. He was just stand-up surfing all the time until I met him. And I said, mate, I've got to take you on some trips. And I took him to, one of my favorite waves that we found years ago. And he went, this is actually a legit wave. And then he was frothing on it. And then, we just try. We actually had quite a good thing going for a while with James and obviously Laurent. Laurent. Laurent would be, he's a New Zealand citizen now, so he'd be the best guy in the country, hands down.
Hey, what about me?
Yeah, big cool, Steve.
You're down
big
the list.
You don't know, Steve. You don't
go
know.
Go to Lawrence page and look at a 10-foot air forward. He's got an air forward and air reverse on his page. Like I've whipped him into some waves doing toe outs and just gone.
Anyone
what
can
are you
fluke
up to?
one wave, mate. Anyone can fluke one wave, eh, Hodgie?
Yeah.
It's okay.
But so we had a real good thing going for a while. It's pity James just went back to Oz. Because every weekend, even if there was no surf, we'd go.
So why did Nemo come here? Did he have other reasons?
Just for work. He just wanted to get away, and he had 2 years here.
Oh, sweet.
But he's a good fella.
Did he love his time here?
He did. Yeah, he went back for his daughter. There was a bit going on in the home life, so
true.
Sort of the call was made for him. He did the right thing and went back.
You got it, man. That's awesome.
But for a sponsored rider too, you don't want to be in New Zealand. No, it's it's got to be the most inconsistent place in the world.
Fickle. Everybody's fickle, and apart from Blakestown,
apart from Newcastle.
There's just like no surf media here.
No,
no bug surf media. There's definitely surf media here.
We're surf media. We're bug surf media.
Yeah, that's
we
what we
are.
That's what I'm saying.
Media.
We had JP. JP does well when he can get out shoot. He's keen on it, but it's just hard to get the the consistency.
Jean-P.
No,
he's a good fella.
Jean-P. S'il vous plaît, monsieur.
I need to try and get him down to Blaketown.
Why not? Why not?
He's a workaholic, Laurent.
Yeah, man. So when are the boys? We should have probably said this at the start. Fuck. When are the
28th.
boys coming down? When are they? When's the
so they land on the weekend of when's the premiere? 30th. They arrive on the 29th on Saturday.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So the plan is try to surf around here. So I'll see what there is. I mean, it's just so hard to make a plan. We have no plan. 2 days out, we'll have a plan. The only thing we know is we have to be at Kingsland full-time sports bar from 4:00, and then if we can sneak a wave in beforehand, and then we'll just be going wherever we can to try and get something.
Now, why a Sunday? Was that just because of the time zone changeover? Because obviously a Saturday night would have been probably a bit more tickets sold.
A week. It was all to do with a lot to do with the venue. They were originally they tried to get us for a Thursday night, but I thought it might be harder originally I thought there might be a large number of people from like the Bay of Plenty, Hamilton.
exactly.
You know, there's I always see things about, you know, there's plenty of bodybuilders page always frothing about this and that. So I thought, if we do it on a Sunday, it'll give them the opportunity to be able to do a day trip up.
Right.
And there was a Warriors game on afterwards. So Warriors versus Tigers. So we thought, for it, you know, my mates especially that love the Warriors, you know, we were like, hey, let's put this on, and then we'll have that, and then we'll kick on and watch the Warriors game, and then
How good was the game last night? Did you watch it, Steve?
My Sky, it boxes crapped out. I'm very unhappy. I went to flick it on yesterday, and it's gone. So
you missed a fucking boomer, dude. It was it was good. Rough starts at both the first and second halves, Hodjo? But then fuck, the boys just after rough starts, they just clicked in. God, it was good.
Thank God. God, I want to see that. Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Mate, it's fucking exciting, and we'd be. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to coming up. Hanging out with you. The question I had just before we wrap up, bro, was when you met them in Raro, was that just a coincidence, or were you in? Oh, just coincidence.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just there. My daughter, actually, we were swimming just in front of socials there, and I've got a tanner board. That's the board I ride.
Yeah.
And my daughter's on. You know, she's 7 years old. She's cruising around on the board, swimming in the shallows there, and then Tanner's paddling in. And I said, oh look, the guy's name's on that board. That's him coming in. And then Bree goes, do you like my board? and he comes up, and he's a very shy guy, Tanner. Very nice, polite, but shy.
Yeah.
And whereas Craig's the social, you know, it sort of took a few nights before I, you know, could have a decent chat with Tanner. He's very reserved. Like you can, there's a reason he's world champ. I think he's that, you know, that sort of guy that, you know, he's probably sitting there watching me and Craig. Yeah, I sort of got the impression we're just smashing back the gins, and he's sort of looking like just sipping on his beer, like, you know, maybe a bit more serious, you know.
Hardy. It's like the Hardy vibe from back in the day.
Yeah, just a bit contemplative, you know, just thinking about things.
Yeah. He's a real nice guy. They all are, but Craig's the more social. He's sort of the driving force behind the channel. And I think they work so well together. Like if you didn't have Tanner, it would be just a couple of Kelly guys that rip. And if they didn't have Craig, it would you wouldn't have the social media stuff. You know, he's a bit of a whiz with the with all his camera gear and stuff like that. Awesome. They've got Alex, who's their main photographer. He couldn't come over. But he's the guy he's a real quiet guy as well, but supposedly, like the stuff I saw him do, he's standing in like knee-deep water and just getting the most insane footage. Like he's quiet and reserved, but he's fearless in the shallows. And the guy said, he'll swim at pipe when it's 10 foot and he'll sit on the inside, you know. You're just thinking, wow. So they've got him as well, who's dedicated to getting that footage. So they've got such a good thing going.
They really do. They really do. Like I watch every clip as soon as it comes out, and the quality of the writing, the quality of the waves, and the way they put their edits together is just fucking awesome.
But some people have it right with the technology. Like Lawrence, the same. He can put together clips, and you just go, oh wow! Like, you know, we'll be mucking around. The next thing he's done a whole bunch with the cameras, and he's put together something that looks really good. Where I'm the opposite.
We should check out our Patreon, Steve-O. Fuck, quality on there, mate.
I'm a little bit worried about what sort of hillbilly stuff you lads would have on there.
There's a bit of hillbilly stuff on there, mate. There's a little bit of that.
There's Dirty Wendy on there?
Yeah, there's a Dirty Wendy interview. Not safe for work, Dirty Wendy interview.
There is not.
I'd love to have seen a photo. You know, like I really enjoyed that story. Like a lot of the time, I fall asleep when you guys are going on about your house or fucking everything else. But that had me on
feedback.
That had me on the edge of my seat, and I was just thinking, yes, he's going to pull through with that one. And by the end of the story, I just sort of worked out you've got zero game.
Hey, Steve, I found a photo of Dirty Wendy. I found a photo of Dirty Wendy. I've got to send it to you.
Yeah, it's
Please.
not going on here. You cannot
Please.
do this
Please.
on here.
Have you actually got one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, can you send it to me now?
No,
I will
after
after
this
I will
podcast.
after.
I
After the
won't.
podcast.
Oh, mate, brilliant. That's why I'm so keen to get you up to Auckland, Joels, because the girls are mud up here as well, mate. So.
I know, mate. I've been there. I remember. I remember.
Auckland. Oh, it's King Steve, by the way, too. Wasn't it? You reckon all Aucklanders think they're kings or something?
Yeah, mate. I'm actually sorry, Your Highness. I should
have had a fucking.
I should have wore like a nice shirt or something and trim my beard up a little bit more. I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
Very sorry, Your Grace.
I didn't enjoy that. Yeah, don't worry, mate.
You think
don't worry, we keep the country going, mate.
Exactly.
So
Hey,
yeah. Well, make sure you come up, Joels.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, my friend. But what I was going to say was, Hodjo, while Steve's here, unless you want to
What?
piss off Steve, we've got our other co-producer, Ben McPake's got some questions.
Yeah.
So we needed to run through those. Do you want to run through 3 questions with us?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Well, it depends. Are they based on attacking Aucklanders?
We'll see.
Yeah.
The first one's quite tame. The second one is definitely not tame. And the third one's pretty tame too. But the first one is about music.
Oh, no. Do that last.
That one last?
Yeah.
Well, I've
That's
already
boring.
said it. Well, there's 2 boring ones and 1 good one.
Yeah, no, there's two good ones. So let's start with the best one.
You go then. Just to know it all.
Steve-O. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm the fucking brains behind the operation. Shut
No,
up.
you're not, mate. You're
Clearly.
fucking tone deaf. You're
What's-
tone deaf half the time.
Joels, weren't we going to do a podcast in the islands and then you just forgot to bring the gear?
Yeah, that's
Fuck,
right.
Yeah, that was an
Yeah.
absolute
Yeah.
blowout.
Yeah.
Absolute blowout.
Pook.
Yeah, I blew that.
I've got better stories since then anyway. I've written off a ski and I've done all sorts since
That's
then.
the
So,
thing. So-
probably, yeah.
Here we go.
For everyone listening, this isn't like the official Steve Fortune podcast. This, we're going to have to do that in person, eh, Steve?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't really want to do one because there's a number of people who you should be doing before me who have
It's not
arguably
about
got a
it.
better
Yeah.
bodyboard story than
It's-
I do.
It's not about a hierarchical thing. It's just about we just get on whoever we feel like getting on. It doesn't.
Yeah.
There's no pecking order, dude, or ladder. Pecking
Yeah.
ladder. That's not a word.
John, could you
No.
shut up?
Say.
Anyway, hit me with these questions, lads.
Right, hang on.
Go, Hodjo.
One more
Mr. Question
thing
Master.
about Steve-O. Right.
Uh-huh.
Fucking Wellesley. Where were
Yeah.
you on this day, Wellesley? Faggot.
Mm.
What's this
Well,
about?
that's a nice
I-
one. During Wellesley's podcast, which I did enjoy, he gave me a little bit of heat in regards to the fact that I'm not really doing it now. Old mate
Doesn't
from
know you.
Christchurch just puts up pictures of little fish in his jet boat. So why isn't him and his old mate the Rhino out there like full send? I almost
they're
thought he'd given
retired.
up.
Exactly, mate. They have given
Retired.
up. Mate.
Yeah.
They're
Retired,
retired.
mate.
They're fucking. They're
retired.
too old and crusty. They love that fucking the scales of the trout, mate. The smell of them. They
Yeah.
just want to.
And he's saying I
you
don't
know?
put up pictures. The reason I don't put up pictures is because I don't want people to know where I go surfing. I spend my life trying to get away from people.
Yeah, that's
Not,
fair enough.
I only put up 10% of the pictures I get, and I usually Photoshop them or reverse them or do something.
Good man. Good man.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, so we're going to do a full Steve-O Fortuna Steve-O's fucking Fortuna podcast in person with the man
Yeah.
himself, full
Yeah.
profile piece.
You should do it when you
Deep.
come down here, Steve.
Yes.
You know, when you come down.
Yeah,
I
that's
reckon,
how we
one
should
day.
do it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how we should
I
do it.
will
When you come
definitely
After
come
a
down.
you know, like after a good surf, have a few beers around at my
Yeah.
house or something. You
Yeah.
know.
I'm allergic to contests. I hate contests. The
Yeah,
idea
that's
of
fair.
it. But I would love to come down for the Blaketown one. Can I just come down and be a commentator or something?
Mate,
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, bro.
We need judges and everything. Fucking. You can be
Well,
a rashy boy.
yeah, it'll even up the scoring, so it's not so one-eyed. That's probably not a bad
Exactly.
idea. I think old Boogie Jesus might come down again if I agree
Yeah,
to judge.
He might win more than one title. You know. So fuck.
Poor old Boogie Jesus.
Oh, he's a legend.
I beat him
He's-
in
he'll be
a heat last year, Steve-O, and I felt like I surfed absolutely horribly
Yeah.
in the heat, and I was actually really shitty at myself. And then when I came in, I don't know, Jolin said it or something, and And he goes, oh, John goes, you come first. And it was perfect timing because I was sitting at the edge of my van looking at everybody eating McDonald's chips. And then Jolin said, oh, Hodger, you came first. And I just started cackling like this evil laugh. And like all the boys at the judging table were like losing it because it was just like perfect timing. And then I saw Jason's face and he's just like this.
Oh, he would not like that.
He was so off it. Like he was just like he looked like he wanted he looked like he wanted to leave back to the North Island right then
immediately.
Immediately. Like but I was the one that drove him over to the West Coast, so he was stuck there.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Awkward drive home, eh?
Sorry, mate,
fucking kicked out of the comp.
Yeah, shout out to the Boogie Jesus. He's a legend.
Guy.
He's been another good guy. I met him just at Maori Bay.
Yeah.
And he was just cruising, and I didn't know, he obviously used to ride for Hot Butted, or because I was never really that into it back in the 90s. And then, after a few surfs, I was like, oh, he can surf. He seems like a nice fella. And then there was one of the surfers out here who was like, oh, who's this guy on your turf, mate? I keep seeing this boogie boarder out here. And he had the long hair and everything. And so they said, he looks like Jesus. He's the Boogie Jesus. And so that's how the name came out. And he's now known around the world as Boogie Jesus, according to Shay's mum. She's introduced him to a couple of people as, yes, he's known around the world as Boogie Jesus. Awesome. So, he's just such an inspiration. He's always positive, just loves to surf, and he's not afraid to get in the car by himself and drive 8 hours.
Yeah, love the guy's vibe. He's been a fucking awesome addition to New Zealand. Yeah. Are you on the Wars bandwagon for 2025, Steve-O?
No, I struggle with the Warriors.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, I've been on and off the bandwagon a few times, and I've been on the bandwagon for at least 3 years now, so I'm still on big time.
I was a day one 1995 bandwagoner, and I jumped off around about 2014, 2015. I was like, nah, I'm sick of these cunts ruining every Sunday. Had a fucking guts full, and they pulled me back in 2023. And unfortunately,
I love rugby league. I watch the footy, but I like just watching exciting games. And obviously, always want the Warriors to win, but I'm not a diehard Warriors fan.
Yeah.
My next door neighbour is actually Tony Kemp. Coached the Warriors at one point. And we I sort of hear a lot about what goes on more than what most people would know. And in his opinion, it's going to take a long time before, there's the clear out at the top needs to start before, they will have the type of success that teams in Aussie have.
Completely changed the culture, eh? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Needed it. It fully needed it.
You need a super coach like Madge or Craig Bellamy or...
I think the coach that they had's, fairly decent. But I know it's interesting. A guy I do, like my main guy I go on the ski with, the guy Dave Wood, and he's got Woody's workshop. And he was a bug back in the day, one of the better guys.
Yeah.
He actually trains Israel Adesanya, all the city kickboxing guys.
Know the guy,
And so he got assigned one of the Warriors players last year. And so he was telling me, he's like, oh, you can't tell him because he knows who I'm mates with. You can't tell them, but this is what I'm dealing with. And it was really interesting, the stuff that was sort of going on that, you get a big signing player, you get him over and at training, you tell him something, he just goes, nah, see you later, and walks off. And you've paid, nearly $1 million for him and he just walks off.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes on, obviously, behind the scenes. And there's a reason why. You look at Melbourne, they've never lost a first game in a season.
Like 25 years, eh?
It's amazing. And it's just obviously that culture they've got going, and they're the ultimate professionals. Whereas, the Warriors have had, at times some amazing talents. And I think for the NRL, because of the salary cap, you need those cheaper players to really perform. In the year where, we had that run with Stacey Jones, you had the Motu Tonys, all the guys who were the cheaper players who just really stood up.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just been hard to get that consistency. And I think having Daniel Anderson was a really good thing. And you had the Ali Lower TD, Stacey Jones, obviously, Kevin Campion. And we've just lacked that.
John Carver.
Yeah,
all
Torpy.
those
We've
guys.
just lacked it since then, and there's been moments of brilliance, but yeah, I don't know. I love the footy. I don't watch rugby union. I watch rugby league, but
Yeah.
man.
yeah, it's a bit of a struggle with them at times.
Yeah.
And what about
No.
what about music? This is the last question. What
Yeah.
about music? Do you do you fire up to when you go for a drive to the
Metallica.
surf?
Oh,
What's
Metallica.
what's your latest song? Are you into
Nah,
anything new?
Metallica's my favorite. I love to have a drink pretty much, well, every night. And if a couple of rums end up being, more than a couple, then usually
going on.
Metallica goes on. But back in the day, Pennywise, NoFX, Stone Temple Pilots, Rage Against the Machine, I love that, you know. But
So
still
nothing new.
Metallica.
You're not listening to any new stuff.
Nah, I think the 90s was it.
It was a good era.
And like
was a good era.
I was a chippy from school, so 8 hours, 9 hours a day listening to the radio. I listened to a lot of music. But yeah, it's just, and I was never into rap when I was younger. But even when you look back at the rap, like, everything was best in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
That's my opinion. But yeah, I don't know who would rival Metallica of now.
Yeah, true. It's a tough
I was a
question.
massive Pearl Jam fan when I was young, but they sort of turned a bit softer, and I sort of like, Pearl Jam 10 was one of my favorite albums back in the day.
Same.
But Metallica, yeah. Can't get past that.
No new music for you, Steve. What about you, Hodgie? Got any new tunes on the go? Any albums?
Nah.
Nothing.
Nah.
Okay, well, I'll share one. I won't share my screen, but it's just a band called Burning Out, and they've got a song called Main to Dufferin. So the band's called Burning Out. They've actually got fuck all songs, but if you want to listen to any new-ish punk, that was a reference, not a reference, a recommendation from my friend over at the Baker's Spunk podcast, little Rosie. So thanks, mate. That's us, isn't it, boys?
Yeah. Lovely to chat to you, lads. Thanks for all your efforts. Love the podcast.
Love it.
And hopefully we can put this together, and be great to get some good content for them while they're here. You can't guarantee what's going to happen with the weather. We've lined up a bunch of, Rotorua and the Coromandel and a few like days in between surfs to show them around. But yeah, ideally we can get to the South Island as well. But I'll be relying on other people's advice for that. And
sweet.
Yeah, hopefully we can get it right. Otherwise,
should we just slide straight into Tanner's DMs when he's here, eh? And we'll just hijack him. Steve. We'll just hijack him. Tanner will bail down south, and Steve's like, "Oh, where the boys gone? Where's the fuck? Oh, Shay, where's those boys gone? Shay, fucking boosted down the grey mouth without you."
All
right, boys.
All right, lads.
Thanks, mate.
Good, man.
Good to chat to you guys. Take it easy. Hey, can I say one more thing?
Yes, you can.
Your backdrop, Ben.
Oh yeah.
Exceptional.
Thank you, sir.
Just flick back to Joel's for a second. Get a look at it.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
Joel's, yeah. Nah, can't even see it. So when we come down, mate, maybe I'll get Mrs. to try and do a bit of interior designing on your place. So try and spruce it up, mate.
I've got a few of these lying around.
Like you see,
where could that go?
See the Boogie Bar logo on the back? That was my 40th present. I just came home and it's just, I don't know if you can see it there, but yeah, it's just like, there it is, man. Lights, everything.
You know what he's doing right now, Hodjo? He's been a classic Aucklander right now, isn't he? He's been a classic Aucklander right now.
Auckland keeps the country. Auckland keeps the country going, mate. You guys know that.
He's leaning into it.
It's about putting in the effort, driving forward, the country forward.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
One of the best things I've seen last year was there was the New Zealand Surf Festival, and Shane Ackerman's now sponsored by Yeti. So they brought him over and he had a section on it. And there was all these people from New Zealand who entered these clips, mate. There were girls that could, surfing at barely do turns, and it was horrific to watch. And we're at this building, it's packed out with people, and then on comes Shane Ackerman's section. It's him just like full send on the most ridiculous waves.
Yeah.
One of them at the right where he's paddling and he nearly dies. And then they get him up to talk, and this lady who's a longboarder says, "Oh, you didn't make any of those barrels though. Like, what's the point in doing it?" And Shane says, oh, I just love it. I love the thrill of it. And, the main thing I think is that you just don't want to be a pullback pussy. And he pretty much offended every single person in that place, except for the boogers that were there, because they were all like 2-foot warriors.
Yeah.
How
Nose
good.
riders. Fucking nose riders. Yeah.
I think everything has its place. Like you go down to Muriwai Beach when it's light onshore, and it's 4 foot, and there's guys foiling, towing in, foiling. You go Orewa when it's 2 foot, and there's guys on longboards. And you go to a house slab, and that's where the bugs are. Like, I don't have a problem riding a craft that like you're trying to surf the heaviest waves you can possibly surf. And like I love seeing stand-ups trying to surf slabs or set. Like I just like whatever you're on, if you're sending it, I enjoy
Having
it.
a fucking dig.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm always encouraging the stand-ups around here. I'm always just like, go try and get surf slabs. And, I think a bug's always going to be able to ride a wave that a surfer can't. But it's incredible to watch, like, whatever craft you're on doing something, that's impressive. I don't find it impressive watching guys on longboards, but I'm not into that. Some people are like.
Right, boys, I'm busting for a piss. See you later, eh?
All right, lads, take it easy.
Cheers.
Bye.
See you
Thanks,
soon.
Steve-o.
Later,
Boys. See ya.